tune in, watch more of it.
Yeah, there are just some extra news about Impact. Is that like Matt said, Jericho has been in talks with them about maybe doing something after. I know that they're doing a joint thing for his cruise, but also working with them after as well. And also, Abyss came out recently. He wants to go back and sign with them now and do stuff. And also they've announced a joint promotion between Impact Wrestling and Big Time Wrestling shows. They're going to take place from November. So obviously they're just trying to find a niche and anything they can get their hands on and working with other indie promotions, because that's what you got to do when you're down there. You got to work with each other, and there's it's very, very difficult to come from where they were at one time to where they are now. I mean, it's a huge jump step down, but at least they seem like they're finding their feet a little bit more. It's not ideal, but it's better than what they were doing, Matt. I mean, I don't know how long that could have gone on for. The amount of money they probably wasted many times at revamping things was crazy. Other than that, only other news coming out was WWE were in talks of doing a new Tough Enough. Not sure I'm a massive fan of that anymore, to be honest with you, Matt. I mean, God, don't we get enough of that now on the network without any more of it? You know what I mean? I think Tough Enough, at that time when it come around, was perfect, but nowadays it's like how much more can you take? It's like there's so many shows like that now. I just don't know if it would work really. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I wouldn't really mind if they actually ever got it right, really, but every time they bring one out, it's always like, oh, the person that was eliminated, way back when, they're like, oh yeah, that's actually the person who had the most talent and actually had the drive and ambition to get things done and actually become a wrestler. But all the time, whenever they have a winner, it's always someone that's a washout within, a few months later.
Yeah, very interesting. Just some news here on the NXT UK guys, because obviously people, they know they've started their tapings. They've been recorded for the network because they are going to be shown on the network. So I think they've got like 4 episodes recorded, Matt, on one weekend's worth. So that's going to take them a month, but I think they're going to do another month, and then they're going to start playing them on the network. So they've kind of got like 8 in the can, just in case. But some news here. Coming out that due to the late injuries caused on some of the UK shows, WWE has insisted wrestlers under the contract to the UK division are no longer allowed to wrestle for the independents 7 days prior the WWE shows, because apparently they had a bit of some problems with Travis Banks, one of the main people that had to cancel. So that's WWE's new rule in there. So we'll see how that goes off in the coming weeks. Also, people were asking about Jason Jordan. What's happened to this guy? Just reading his Jason Jordan's neck injury situation after surgery is worse than expected. He is not returning at the present times. That's written by Dave Meltzer there. So. Interesting. To be honest with you, I'd completely forgot about him, to be honest with you, Matt. It was only that somebody emailed that in. Also, what about Dean Ambrose? Dean Ambrose should be back, Dave Meltzer says, any week now. While nobody has directly said this to us, he does appear they are setting up Rollins needing a partner up against Ziggler and McIntyre. Oh, God. No, that's the way that's going to go, is it? Also, just obviously, what we've heard about Aleister Black out of action now. He was hurt on the 28th of the 7th Las Vegas show when he was in a match against Tommaso Ciampa there. So, really bad news for him, I guess, Matt, Aleister Black, because I know you're a bit of a fan of his, and we saw him, down at the NXT UK stuff, and quite an awesome presence, since he's been there. Do you see that guy, as a guy easily getting up to the main roster, or do you think this might kick back his career a little bit when he gets back?
No, I think it's never a great time to have an injury, is it? But if anything, he's just dropped his title, so it's not so much of an inconvenience there. He can sort of take a step back and hopefully when he's fit again, he'll be reintroduced introduced into a fresh kind of feud, maybe. So, but then that will remain to be seen whether that's on NXT or the main roster. But he's definitely got a divisive kind of character. I mean, we see that supernatural kind of gimmicks like that can get across with people like The Undertaker and that, and he is a little bit more down to earth and grounded than that kind of scale, but it's definitely, he gets over more on his wrestling skills, so hopefully WWE don't change him too much when he comes to the main roster, because he definitely has a following there behind him already, so I've got to hope that he bounces back from this strong.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Jimbo, Wrestler Squad number 9, he sent an email back. He's got the T-shirts. He's going to put them up soon so everyone can see them, including Matt. By the way, I stuck to my words.
Yeah, he's seen it before me.
Yeah, I totally stuck to my guns because I knew it had to get to Jimbo, and then he had some problems with his postage. We know all about that as well, by the way. So he's trying to get them. He's going to send them, but he also sent an interesting picture down at the developmental centre that he'd found somewhere. God only knows, Jimbo, but. It was a shot of none other than Frank Shamrock, Matt. He was down there talking with Shawn Michaels of all people. It was like, what's going on? Well, I did a little bit of digging into this and trying to find out why Frank Shamrock would be down there. Apparently, Frank Shamrock is Mauro Ranello's agent. Small world, isn't it? But that was the reason, and so he's down there often a lot by all accounts because. But there was a lot of speculation, like what's Frank Shamrock doing there with Shawn Michaels? Like what were they doing? But that was the reason. Also, just reading a bit of news here before we sign off tonight. Bayley and Rousey have done some social media teases for the 4 Horsewomen versus 4 Horsewomen. So it does look like the idea is back on the board. Survivor Series would make sense.
Oh, no.
So yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? Especially if they showed that shot from before. It all happened here.
Yeah.
That was bloody awful. That. Yeah, and can't ever get away from this man at the moment. Love him or hate him, Hulk Hogan. Hogan is teasing a major NWO announcement with Hall and Nash for the 27th for the 10th. They were together this past week filming some NWO. Related things at Hogan's Beach Shop in Orlando. Not sure what the announcement is, but part of it may be to put them over in some form, not wrestling, as a way back to bring back the NWO merchandise. Hogan and Jimmy Hart were backstage at the eighth show in Orlando, of course, in WWE, which we've already spoken about. So there you go, Hogan. Probably and Nash and Hall trying to make a quick buck on the NWA merchandise, and why wouldn't you, I suppose? Always does normally sell quite well. Just other bits of news here. The Mae Young Classic will not be released for binge watching like last year. It's been reported here. Apparently they're going to do it week by week, Matt. So bit of an annoying thing, I suppose.
Makes sense. I mean, I think it's because they want to build anticipation for the women's pay-per-view, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised they did it the way they did.
By the time you get there.
Yeah, I was surprised they did it the way they did it last time. Anyway, to be fair, not sure if they were just trying to Netflix does it. We could do that as well. Maybe that's what they like, but no, not always a wise idea with wrestling. And the last piece of some news here, just some little bits we've got cropping up, just like literally coming in as we're talking here. WWE is becoming very aggressive when it comes to taking talent off the board. It's real clear. Meltzer says the All In and Madison Square Garden are legit competition, and they are really stressing to their own talent that they don't even want their guys talking to guys from Ring of Honor. Well, I don't know how that's going to end up stopping, but yeah, that's why they are. Obviously, they can't be too happy with what's going on over there at the minute, but we'll see. And also, what about Joey Mercury going over there, Matt? That was quite an interesting move. Probably a great acquisition for Ring of Honor, Matt, to get someone with a bit of that experience now from the WWE. And there have always been exchanges between them, but you wonder if that relationship might be a little bit sour now, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose times move on, don't they? And like you said, this is a legit competition now, and maybe not intentionally so, because it's just providing an alternative to WWE. But if they want to look at it that way, that it could be damaging to their business, then they're going to be a bit ruthless about it. But then WWE has been this way anyway. When you look at the talent they've snatched up from the indies and what they use on NXT now, even if it doesn't really pan out, they just seem to. They don't really have any problems about who they pick up now, like they did about 10 years ago when they wouldn't even touch a TNA guy.
Yeah, that's true. Good news if you're a Total Bellas fan, by the way. They've renewed for a 4th season, Matt. Wonderful. The past season was over up 22%. And in the DVR usage from the season 3 in the 1849 days. So, yeah, really up on Total Bellas. It's weird, isn't it? Total Bellas is doing better than most WWE programs. It's just crazy.
Well, you say that, but then I was thinking, like, is it true what the Miz said then? When he said his first 2 episodes did better than all of that?
Yeah,
so,
that'd be crazy.
I mean, if that's true, then, more power to the Miz. Because,
I think we might, if there's guys out there, we may see more of this. Because obviously this is another streaming revenue here, but another way of exposing your name. So that is going to be interesting to see what happens with that sort of stuff, coming up. And always interesting news this is, when I always forget to sort of read this out, but people always ask, like, because it's so difficult to understand what the hell goes on the WWE network. Like, what really are the ratings figures? Finally, they've managed to get something where they can actually find them out, and WWE started to release them bit by bit. So the top 10 most watched shows, Matt. Number 1 is, of course, NXT. So that's good news, Matt, really. that is still the main one. Obviously, Extreme Rules from 2018. Steve Austin in OVW made at number 3. Table for 3 with Ric Flair, Sting, and Kurt Angle. Number 5. I don't know if you've watched this now, Matt. Walk with Elias documentary. Any good?
Oh yes, have you seen that?
No, I've not seen it yet.
If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend.
Yeah. I heard he stays in character a little bit.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. That's why it's so good.
Yeah, okay,
it's
cool.
Definitely a bit of that old school mentality, and I wish there was more of that around these days.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we got another NXT show. We've got the WrestleMania 2018, which is still being very watched in at number 8. Number 10 is the Chicago pre-show NXT, and then below that is an episode of Total Bellas. There you go. By the way, 205, nowhere near, like, it's not even nowhere near the top where it needs to be. So not good news for that. But yeah, that's the ratings. I'll try and mention that as much as I can, because it always is interesting to see what people are going to on the network. It's interesting that things like Table for 3, something quite simple, but I mean, how much money does that need invested compared to all these other stuff, Matt? You think to yourself, like, you've got that huge archive, just cut away all this crap like Swerved and all that other nonsense they've tried to do, and stick to things, that people genuinely want to see as wrestling fans, which is clearly, modern day wrestling like NXT, and they want to find and hear from past legends, but in an easy way of doing it. And again, a Table for 3 episode, I think it's like 20 minutes long, not even that. So nice and easy, and that's how you got to be, I think, these days. Short attention spans now, people. So yeah, nice and quick with that. So yeah, that leads us to the end of the show, Matt. Been a busy one this week, I think, going through everything. Going to be a busy show next week as well, coming out of this, Matt. Anything coming up on your end with wrestling, Matt? I know that you and I will be at WWE again at the end of August. I think it's the end of August. Yeah. At the O2.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. No, we do know some of the matches now, don't we? But I think they haven't announced Ronda's opponents yet, or whatever that's going to be. So
I was kind of thinking, like what you just said a minute ago, like with people with short attention spans, it doesn't really bode well for us. I mean, we've been talking for quite a while now. I hope some people are still there listening.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I think it's hopefully it's just not the non-visual thing. Maybe I don't know. But we always seem to hold on to our listeners. You know what? It's more of a thing of listeners getting in about sort of 20 minutes into the show than it is cutting off